My parents were very motivated, educated people, and they really just wanted us to be happy, but being happy when we were being raised has a different definition now than I think what parents think happy for their children is. Happy was in that era what I think parents projected they would make them happy and not necessarily what would make you happy. So I'm still trying to figure out what happy is. I'm working on it. It's a work in progress, but I know when I was pre-med at an Ivy League school, and because my father was he was a dentist, he was an orthodontist, and he was a real estate developer, kind of like all mixed up things, but he came from a very different era in which he knew what it was like not to eat. He lived in a cold water flat, and he was going to provide for his children the American dream and not get married until he could give them the kind of education that he had pursued for himself. He went to Harvard in the Depression. And so that message of making a contribution and being something and thinking and solving problems and surviving and the overachieving that goes with it was a message that was kind of drilled into all four of us. I have three sisters. And when I started out as pre-med and was kind of meandering a little bit, I got into this Bauhaus course. We called it Sticks and Stones, where they gave you a big lump of clay on a table and some pickup sticks and some volumetric shapes. And for a semester, you were exploring what all those shapes and things were. And I thought, wow, this is great. This is fun. And the irony is that that exploration of form is something that informs how I think every minute and every day, because architecture and design teaches you how to see. And if you can learn how to see and you can learn how to communicate, then maybe you can do almost anything that you set your mind to, because it's being open like that and vulnerable and sensitive to that kind of thing that those early courses taught me about visual and emotional components of architecture and design. Yes, I think, but I wouldn't have listened to it anyway, because I was so driven and a product of my generation, which was the kind of baby boomers, and it was our generation that had the responsibility of changing the world. And so given that burden of that responsibility, no matter what anybody said to me, I probably wouldn't have listened to it. But if I were now a child, and I still like to think I'm a child in a lot of ways, and I'd like to hear this advice now, I would still feel free to take on anything that I thought would be interesting and not be afraid.